Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Cinema Wave podcast here at the Culture Wave Media Network. And we're talking television for the first time in a while. We are recapping an entire show that has been airing since, I believe it started airing in August, end of August. It is HBO's Task, which is the newest series from Brad Inglesby. Previously did Mayor of Easttown, and it stars Mark Ruffalo, Tom Pelphrey, amongst many, many others among the ensemble. I'm going to be one of your hosts for this review. My name is Darian Scalamoni. I am joined by Liz Seiko.
What's happening?
This series, it was highly anticipated. It was the prime Sunday 9 p.m. series on HBO. First series for Brad Inglesby since Mayor of Easttown that did gangbusters for the network. Like tons of Emmy Awards, crazy ratings that grew week to week. There have been people clamoring for like more stories with Kate Winslet's character, and instead Brad Inglesby lays the smack down and says, fuck that, we're making another Delco-set series. And this show is brilliant. It's one of my favorite series of the year, giving away that spoiler at the top. In most years I feel like it would be my favorite show. There's a couple series that came out early this year that I still like a little bit more than this, but this show is fantastic, and so much of that is leveraged not only on the storytelling that Brad Inglesby does, who I genuinely believe this show might be better than Mayor of Easttown, but the ensemble in this show is unbelievable. Everybody is at the top of their game, and I'm just so excited to dive into it. Full spoilers when we start talking about it, but broad thoughts for you, Liz, before we get into the plot and all that. What did you think of Task?
I feel exactly how you do. This show is just really, really great writing. And then on top of it, you're seeing these actors at the top of their game. And it's not just like a bunch of new actors that like we don't know. I mean, these are some serious, like vetted people that have been around the block before, and they're doing some of their best work. And I think it's a really great show. If you haven't seen it and you're just trying to get like an idea, you should go watch it. Because it's one of my favorite shows of this year. I'm interested to talk. Honestly, a part of me wishes that we did cover it each week, just so we could have like talked and like
the unraveling.
Yes, and like dissected it more, because there were times where I was just like, where are we going? Like, what's going to happen? Like, who's going to get the money? Who's going to get this? Like, what's going to happen? And so I do wish that we could have had that back and forth, but I'm really excited to talk about it today with you.
Yeah. I mean, even because the way that all the events of episode 6 would be enough for a finale of any show.
Yeah.
And instead, Brad decides to go in a very different direction that elevates it even more and has this bigger wrap up that has a deeper meaning to what he's trying to tell with the storytelling in the show.
Yeah.
And I think that might be why I like it more than Mayor of Easttown, because it had a larger story to tell, and it ticked all of these boxes for me that I personally love. I love the drama. I love drama. Crime is probably my favorite genre, and it deals a lot with crime. We get Howell High School rep alumni Tom Pelphrey getting this great performance, but this great role that Brad writes too with Robbie's character, and going toe to toe with Ruffalo's Tom Brandis, who, I mean, Ruffalo is he is regarded as one of the greatest actors of our time, and he's still underrated. I don't know how it's possible, but he's able to do something different with every single role that he has. And I'm completely enamored every single time I see him in literally anything. Like, I was thinking to myself, like, is there any performance that I've seen of his that has either fallen short, or is there anything where I was like, man, I hope we were getting more of Ruffalo? No. Literally everything this man has done, I have loved. Not liked, I've loved. Even like just the nuance and the difference in his filmography. Like, I know I'm pretty sure you're a fan of 13 Going on 30.
Oh my God.
So like,
oh my God,
you have that element of it. He's unbelievable in Spotlight. He's great in this movie that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you were here. Maybe it wasn't you that I said it to, but one of my favorite performances by him is this movie called Infinitely Polar Bear, which is a very, very small movie where he plays someone with bipolar, and it broke me. literally broke me, and it's a movie that probably 99% of people haven't seen.
Well, you also have to see him in Poor Things.
Which is true.
He is transformative in that film. I've never seen him play a role like that before, which is it's just so great seeing how different like that role is to this one that he's playing on Task. Like, he truly had his range has grown.
Dude,
I think over the
just
years.
fanboying the fuck out.
Go ahead, keep going.
No, because I'm
keep
looking
going.
at his filmography, and
I know,
it's just
me
like
too.
it's like Shutter Island, Foxcatcher, nominated for an Oscar. Begin Again is like one of my favorite feel-good movies. It is nothing like these other films. And then on top of all that, I know you're not a comic book fan. He plays the Hulk. He plays the Hulk. Like, that's a big deal. He's played the Hulk for a long time now. And he's one of the only OG Avengers that's still around playing the character. And he feels a deep appreciation of that. So,
and he's going to be in Alan Harper.
I'm freaking out right now. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little too carried away. We need to rein it back in.
We need to rein it in. Okay. We just gushed about Ruffalo. Let's jump to Tom. Let's talk Pelphrey.
Tom, talking to you directly, bud, if you're listening. Howell High School alum, someone that came from our fine and performing arts program at our high school that we're so proud to represent and we talk about so much on this channel. He gets this great spotlight. Now, I loved him, obviously. A lot of people kind of discovered Tom Pelphrey in Ozark, playing Laura Linney's brother, in what is one of my favorite television series of the last, 15 years. Like, it's such a cousin to, Breaking Bad, which is one of my favorite series of all time. And he's unbelievable in that show, was robbed of an Emmy nomination for that show. And I feel confident in saying I really think Tom's going to get a nomination for this, because the yin and the yang of Robbie and Tom Brandis in this show is what makes it as special as it is, because these two characters are on such different paths, but at the same time, at their cores, they are the same. They are really good men that are trying to do right by their families, and they're trying to take away from the people that have kind of scarred this world or their own respective worlds. And so, yeah, Liz, go ahead and gush about Tom, because he's fantastic in this show as well.
Honestly, even from the first episode, I was like, damn, he is killing this right now. And I was like, at first I was like, I hope he doesn't plateau throughout the series, because I didn't know how great it was going to be the first episode. The first episode, I think after you and I first talked, we were even it was a little slow, but definitely had a powerful punch at the end. So let's see where it goes. He grew and grew and grew, and he's definitely getting nominated. I think he might win. I mean, there were just so many moments that I can think of where his acting is on just another level, and almost also very different from Ruffalo's. Ruffalo's is very internal, a man that's clearly trying to figure things out in his own mind and trying to deal with things inside, versus Pelphrey, Robbie's character. Robbie is spiraling out of control almost too, and is losing control over his life, and is trying to figure out, okay, I've lost control over my life. Now, how do I just steer this so it doesn't wreck everyone else's life that I care about, essentially? And it's just brilliant writing, because he could have been just written as a typical crime-involved man who was just money hungry and was just trying to get money, and then got wrapped up in the wrong thing, and then got lost in the world of crime. But even at the end, we can see that his character was good. Yes, he may have been doing some fucked up things to better his family, but I think it just shows that not everybody is labeled as good or bad. It's kind of that gray area. And also the final scene with him, where when he gets stabbed, we're fully talking about spoilers at this point. I've just never seen an actor transition that way of I don't know. It was just beautiful of him looking like he's killing somebody with his bare hands, and then all of a sudden being stabbed. The artistry that takes is wild.
Well, it's he transitions fully from anger to accepting his fate.
Yes.
In a way that feels so effortless in terms of the acting. And it really is Like he's great in Ozark, but this is definitely his best performance. And it's great to see him showcased at this level, to kind of be given this material and take it and run with it in a lead role, like his first major leading role in a television series or in a film. And he's going toe to toe with Ruffalo the entire time,
without even being like with each other in a scene until
later. And
until
it does
later.
their scenes together are so special. Like when Robbie does finally kind of hold Tom hostage in this way, and it does. Have you seen Ozark?
I watched like the first episode.
Okay, so there is an element of even the scene in the car, not like before he's stabbed, when he's driving out to the woods to kind of allow Tom to be set free to go and enact his plan. It is such a parallel to what actually happens in a scene in Ozark that it was like almost eerie to me.
Oh, really?
Like he's in the back seat of a car talking to his sister. And it's a very significant scene in Ozark when he comes back in Ozark later on in the last season. So that was also crazy, like a crazy parallel to me. But yeah, like them playing off of each other in those scenes, and then just kind of their pathways. Because when you see them in the beginning of the series, like Ruffalo's character of Tom he's a schlub. Like he's a guy that's going to like these career fairs for the FBI, and he's not a real, like, he's kind of like a rent-a-cop kind of thing at this point. I do like how they have really interesting decision making by Brad Inglesby to make him a former priest.
I know.
Turned to FBI, and how they kind of play with the religion, and it also leads to these great moments with Tom's character and Grasso's character, which I can't wait to talk about Grasso too. And it's just that, like, Mare of Easttown is a good show. It's a show that I really enjoyed it when it was on the air. I loved watching it week to week. And by the time it was over, I was like, it was a good show. And as it's gone along the years, I haven't been one of those fans that have been obsessive over it. Like, it's one of the greatest HBO shows ever. This show is elevated. It is. It's a even bigger, no pun intended, it's a bigger task for Brad Inglesby to kind of handle this. And you see it too with the larger ensemble in the show, which I can't wait. Like, I would love for you to kind of chime in on it, because so many characters get something to shine, including our boy Andrew Russell, get moments to shine throughout this series. And that's a lot of heavy lifting across a 7-episode series that has a beginning, a middle, and end, that everybody kind of gets this beautiful cathartic wrap up in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I was literally about to start going into that. Of obviously you want your main two leads to be powerful, strong, moving. But really what makes a great show stand out from like a good one is when the side players are just as fucking good. And I just have to say, Amelia Jones in this was on, she's giving a leading performance, even though she technically is a supporting character. I mean, you feel like the pressure that she's under throughout the entire thing. And I'm really excited to see what she does, because I mean, majority of people recognize her from Coda, obviously, which is a complete twist. Let's talk about that first of all. I mean, giving her the mullet, making her just this like grungy, rough, trying to figure out her shit.
Heavy Delco accent.
Heavy Delco accent. What a twist up. I'm so happy that this was like her second kind of like big project to put out into the world, because it's putting her on the map of, she's not just going to be a film actress that plays the same role every time. She's ready to go and take a character and completely transform herself for it. I mean, one of my favorite scenes between her was her and Robbie in the car earlier in the season when she finds out. Oh my God. When she finds out that the boy's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it was the opening scene for, I want to say episode 3, maybe. It was stunning work. I mean, gorgeous writing also, just to be able to give them that long-winded conversation. But yeah, she did the best work.
And even the conversation, I mean, the car scene is the one that everyone's going to remember, and rightfully so. It'll be like the Emmy clip for her probably. The scene, the first argument they get into after Robbie walks in, again, like a kind of interesting moment of comedy in a series that doesn't have a lot of it. But when she's going out on a date and he's sneaking in her room to steal her weed, and he's hiding in her closet when she comes home with a guy, and he's like, all right, I'm sorry, I'm not looking. And it becomes this huge thing, and they get into a fight, and it's all about privacy and things like that. She's unrecognizable.
Yes.
In this. And I loved Coda. It was genuinely such a great piece of work that is so uncommon in Hollywood, which is why I think it connected with so many people and was a Best Picture winner. But she is unrecognizable in this series. And on top of that, like all the supporting players, like the whole task force, you get Fabian Frankel, best known for House of the Dragon. I think he's better in this than he is in House of the Dragon.
100%.
Thuso and Bedu and Alison Oliver, who's probably best known for Saltburn.
Yes.
I love her. Another super heavy Delco accent. And it is funny because we keep bringing up the accents, but do you watch the after things of the episodes?
I do.
Everybody loved doing the accent in this show. Yep. It's the most fun accent to do, and representing the East Coast, like, absolutely love it. But even like some of the day players in moments, like, so, and I don't want to say day players because they're in, some of them are in more than one episode, but like someone that, like, I really love Owen Teague. We've seen him in a bunch of things. He was in Griffin and Summer. He's the lead in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. He has like an unforgettable character that literally dies within the first episode.
Yeah.
Margarita Levieva showing up as Erin. She plays a major factor in this larger mosaic of what the story is. Raul Castillo, Martha Plimpton, Sam Keeley, Jamie McShane. Like, there's so many people in the show that are doing their best work, and it's because the material is that good that they all show up to this deeper level.
Yeah.
And it's really, it's some of the best writing of the entire year across film and television, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's also because they gave something, you were talking about this earlier, they gave a full storyline to each of their supporting characters. They didn't just leave them.
Everything's fleshed out.
Yep, everything. You, like, all of the task members have completely different side stories and why they're there and why they're doing what they're doing, and kind of just a full-fledged backstory that we as an audience get to learn. And I don't really think that happens sometimes in shows because it gets so caught up in telling just the story and like the actual plot lines that it forgets to give us like, well, who are these people? And that's what I loved. I mean, yeah, Alison Oliver in this was hysterical. Just from the moment that she gets on, you're like, this girl is a freaking mess. Like, what is she doing? What is she doing? And then just you get to slowly see her unfold and like see her at the bar with Grasso and like starting to see like the relationships form too. And then I just think it's so smart to then give us that absolute shock of losing her in the end is really what guts you, because you wouldn't care so much for her if they didn't give us that entire backstory and letting us kind of fall in love with her character in a way.
Yeah, because she resembles like all the insecurities within everybody, and Grasso's able to get this different side of her, and he sees her despite what she might feel about her. Like, it's such a sweet, heartwarming moment when they go to the bar and he has to leave, and he kind of makes a toast to her being one of the best officers because she's somebody that's bullied around the town. Like, it's that sixth episode of the series out of 7 is I would say there's one other series which you don't watch, Andor, but there's an episode in Andor that I would put up with that episode as the 2 best episodes of the year in television. I think it's just it's so intense, and everybody gets a moment to shine.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of shocking moments that happen, like Robbie getting stabbed, like even the way, I mean, the way the episode just opens and you're just thrust into all of the action that's happening across it. It's great. And we were talking before we started rolling about how they do this great job of giving you a whole other episode to sort of digest what happened, while also upping the stakes even more with the money and with the role that now Grasso, your understanding with Grasso being somewhat of an informant for the biker gang and what that means. And there's something to what Fabian Frankel does here too, where you get the opening of him in the last episode where you have empathy even for his character because he's doing things for the betterment of his family. Like, it's that central theme of the story is that all these characters are trying to do what they believe is the right thing to do for the betterment of their family and togetherness. And he is kind of the hero at the end of the day, which is also crazy. What did you think about the way they go in the direction with Grasso? Because he starts off obviously as one of the members of the task force, and his character grows over time, and I just think he's doing such great work in this series as well.
No, I think I'm really happy with the work that they put into his character and just the overall arc, because for me it kind of also shadows the same thing that they did with Robbie, of kind of just what you were saying. He's doing these things, he's messed up, he's kind of in the wrong crowd in a way, but at the end of the day he's still going to be a human being, and he's still going to have his, it's not like he's completely screwing over his task team. Like, he didn't want Lizzie to die. He clearly cared about her. It's just that he kind of had his hand in way too many pots, and he got burnt. Yeah. And he couldn't do anything about it. And I think that was needed to then also let him have some redemption arc.
Yeah.
He needed to be the one that was at fault.
I totally agree.
Yeah, and I'm also glad that they made his character the leak in the task, because I just wouldn't have really bought it if it was Aaliyah or Lizzie. Like, Lizzie's was way too messy for her to actually be able to keep that going. And Aaliyah, I just think her character had so much power and strength, and showing the fear and weakness and just fear of having her past of being in a abusive relationship. I think that what they were doing with her character needed to be done, and it would have been messy if they also brought her in as being the leak.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. It's a series it's so ambitious in what it does with its storytelling, but I really feel like it just hits every single mark.
I know. And even the ending, Andrew Russell, shout out.
Andrew!
Gorgeous work in the end of bringing... I agree. I loved that they gave us that breath in the end to be able to wrap up with Tom's family, and to kind of have it be a bookend of we started with his family drama, and now we're ending it with the family drama, and everything else in the middle was just happening, kind of.
Yeah, and I also see that the decision with Sam, which also shout out to Ben Lewis Doherty, a great child actor in Sam. But it's so great how, you're talking about the book ending with Tom's family, Tom Brandis' family. It's the same where Robbie feels this desire and this need to not abandon a child because he just killed his parents.
Yeah.
To take him in and make him part of his family for a short time, to where Ruffalo decides that his character has to do the same thing because, as he said, him and his wife were still members of the community that could take in foster children.
Yeah.
And so to have that parallel as well from Robbie's mentality to be a father and Ruffalo's mentality to be a father, it's just great. It's such a great show. We talked spoilers about it, so if you haven't seen it, sorry, but you need to watch this series because it's one of the best of the year. I can't recall a show on HBO that I've watched in recent years that has affected me as much as this. I wasn't a huge fan of, the most recent season of White Lotus I thought was good, not great. Last of Us was a disappointment. House of the Dragon was a disappointment. So I can't recall an HBO series that has made me feel this way for a while, but it feels very prestige and it feels very HBO in the best way.
Yeah, they're back.
Thank you.
They had a little time off, but we're seated.
Yes, absolutely. Are you ready for scores?
Yeah, why don't you go first?
All right, I'm going to give Task a 9. I think it's, like I said, it's genuinely one of the best series of the year that I've seen thus far anyway. The only two shows right now that I would put above it is Severance and Andor. Those are the only two that I saw this year that I would put above it, and it's slightly. And it ticks all the right boxes for me. It's ironic. We were talking about Ben Affleck for a short time before we started recording this, and it reminds me with Inglesby, who I just want to do. I want him to still do series, but I just want to see him do any stories that he wants. I feel like I'm not a reader. I would want to read these Delco-set stories, even if it was a novel, because he knows the area so well, and it's such a part of his writing and the fabric of how lived in his stories feel in this community, that he's just such an incredible writer and showrunner and creator. So it's a great series. But the Ben Affleck connection I was going to make was Mare of Easttown. What Task is from Mare of Easttown reminds me of like the jump from The Town to Gone Baby Gone, where it's like it's just elevated. Everything that he did previously that people really enjoyed, this series just does everything better. So you have to watch Task if you haven't watched it already. If you did watch it, definitely let us know in the comments what you think. But what is your score?
I am right there with you, and I have a solid 9 for it. Yeah, I think it's some of the best acting on right now. I think it's I'm not sure about the rewatchability yet. I mean, maybe because Tyler hasn't watched it, maybe I'll like rewatch it with him. So that's something that's like keeping me back a little bit from giving it a solid like 9.5 or 10. But I think it's one of the best shows on, and it was definitely like a slow burn. Not everybody was talking about it when it first came out, but now everybody's just loving it.
Yeah.
So keep watching it, give it its love, and yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, and look forward to hopefully talking about it when Emmy season comes up next year. Because I really believe it's going to be nominated for a lot of awards, as it should be. So, but let us know in the comments, what are your guys' thoughts on Task if you had a chance to check it out already. What did you think about the ending? What did you think about the amazing performances from all the leads and the whole ensemble? Again, shout out to Tom Pelphrey. Super proud to be a Howell High School alum. He's talked about it a lot in his interviews, and we're super proud to represent that. So give this video a like if you guys can. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to us here at the Culture A Media Network. We're covering a lot of other stuff right now. For television, we actually just wrapped up our coverage for an HBO Max series, Peacemaker. It's in the comic book realm, but we just covered that recently. We have movie reviews up right now for Hamnet and The Smashing Machine and some other things as well. So check that stuff out. And then if you guys want to follow us on social media, you could do that. All that stuff is below me in the video, and it's also in our YouTube description. Just signing off, I'm Darian Scalamoni.
I am Liz Seiko.
And we'll see you guys next time.
This is The Culture.